Yeah, someone's getting lucky tonight.
All right, Mackie.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Well, thanks to Donald Trump, the stranded astronauts finally made it home. They made it home in Elon Musk's Dragon capsule. This as Joe Biden prepped his new capsule for his departure. No dolphins around that thing. Many GOP lawmakers are praising Trump for his call with Vladimir Putin because Biden had refused to even pick up the phone. In Biden's defense, this was his phone.
I have one of those.
Me too. After stealing an ambulance, a Florida resident paused to finish a beer before surrendering to police. Which raises the question, when did this woman move to Florida? Whoopi Goldberg said that any cast member of The View could find themselves being deported. Huh. Luckily for them, ICE can't legally deport livestock. It's in the law. In the law. Sleep experts say placing a piece of medical-grade tape across your lips can reduce snoring. And if you place it above your lips, you can also remove unwanted hair. We're always here to help. In response to the trade war, Canadians want to block U.S. access to Canadian-owned Pornhub, which would cripple some of our most successful American companies. I don't get it. The blobfish, which was once deemed the world's ugliest animal, has made a resounding comeback to win Fish of the Year. Coming in second place once again was the hagfish.
Well played.
WNBA player Cameron Brink said she only wants to practice with gay men. In other words, her teammates. A New York City man was seen calmly eating a dead rat on a busy sidewalk. Now, it's good to see Don Lemon still enjoys outdoor dining. And finally, a new study claims that oral sex may lead to dementia. Well, my husband has nothing to worry about, said one woman.
It's a hell of a trade-off.
Yeah.
Buckle up, guys. Today we're going to break down this entire segment piece by piece. Right from the opening seconds, Greg sets the room on fire with that signature confidence, pulling the audience into his rhythm before they even settle in. As an observer, you can see him positioning himself as both the conductor and the disruptor, framing the energy for everything that follows and making sure viewers know this won't be a passive ride.
Oh. All right, it's no secret that the Democrats are polling worse than Dylan Mulvaney with jock itch. So it makes sense to enlist two manly men to save the party. That's right, those two intellectual titans have finally met face to face. It's like Godzilla versus King Kong, and no matter who wins, your city will burn. It's true. The governors of two of the most poorly run states have put their gruesome heads together, and one thing is for sure. The Democrat Party is more screwed than a Kardashian at the BET Awards. First things first, did you know Tim Walz is masculine? And it must baffle him how much they spent trying to attack him.
It just baffled me how much time they spent trying to attack me that I wasn't like masculine enough in their vision. Like I would have never believed this. I saw Fox News did like a couple days because I used a straw. And I'm like, hell, man, what am I? How else do you drink a milkshake type of thing? But they focused on it obsessively, which I think, again, is their obsession, their weirdness. We buy their frame on these issues of sexuality, you know, but their whole thing is that they spent all their time, these guys, on Fox News, that Walz is gay, he's not masculine, you know, he doesn't coach football the way he should.
Wait. Hold on there, my little tampon tugger. It wasn't us who introduced your masculinity into this equation. I seem to remember your party engineering that hoax for you.
What do you hope the American public sees about who he is as a human being?
Well, he's the all-American man. I mean, he's just fabulous. Walz has, certainly many stereotypically masculine qualities, but he's also demonstrated with his family this value in showing his emotions.
From this moment forward, Greg pivots into his usual blend of satire and precision, taking aim at the situation with a tone that feels both playful and pointed. You can sense he's laying the groundwork for a deeper critique, using humor as the opening act. The delivery tightens as he hints at the contradictions he's about to expose, setting up the audience for a sharper punchline ahead.
Sergeant Major Walz is the kind of man's man that J.D. Vance and Donald Trump pretend to be.
To watch the men of the Democratic Party model a kind of masculinity that is simply 21st century masculinity.
Male figures, Tim Walz being one of them, Doug Emhoff last night, who can speak to men out there who might not be the sort of testosterone-laden, gun-toting kind of guy.
Yeah. Sorry, Tim. It was your team who tried to sell you as the next Chuck Norris. It's not our fault you're actually Chuck Barris. So what are we going to do but follow their lead? The problem is, like everything else that Dems did, it wasn't real. Just like Nancy Pelosi's face and Barack Obama's marriage. Just the way they couldn't identify a woman, the Dems had a worse time identifying a man. Remember this, huh? Check this stuff out. I mean, if that guy got any gayer, he'd fart glitter. Anyway, Walz is mad about that, and he wants Newsom to back him up.
What do you think about this? I mean,
it's what
there's this misogyny in here that's happening.
Yeah, well, but this notion of masculinity is deeply part of it. That's one of the. I mean, I think it goes. And you can look at the reasons why we've had this sort of dialectic over the Me Too movement. We've had this dialectic even prior to the Me Too movement. This notion
of fight it.
And well, this notion
I think
of
I could kick most of their ass. I do think that.
Look out, guys. Tim Walz is going to flatten us. And what's he going to do, run us down in a car on the way home from a...
Here, Greg shifts gears and begins peeling back the outer layer of the topic, highlighting a mismatch between narrative and reality. As a third-party observer, what stands out is how quickly he escalates the stakes. He wants viewers to recognize the absurdity he sees, and he crafts each sentence like a nudge that becomes progressively harder to ignore.
Bar? Hell, me and him are the same age.
Ooh.
But me fighting him would feel like elder abuse. But the Dems point out he is a combat vet. Or he would have been if he actually had gone to Afghanistan, but hey, he didn't. Sorry, Alec Baldwin has more confirmed kills. And even Dick Cheney actually shot people. But at least Newsom is back to milking his imaginary cow. Watch that again.
And you can look at the reasons why we've had this sort of dialectic over the Me Too movement. We've had this dialectic even prior to the Me Too movement. This notion
of fight it.
This notion
I think
of
I could kick most of their ass. I do think that.
What is he doing? What's with all the movement? He looks like he's at a wedding, chair dancing to the Macarena just as the cocaine hits. But, those two yammering about masculinity is like Whoopi and Joy opining on CrossFit. But Newsom gives it one more try.
I think it's one of the reasons we're losing so many men. And again, it's multi-ethnic. It's not just white men. We're losing them. We're losing them to these guys online. We're losing them to people that I'm bringing on this podcast as well. That's why I brought...
These are bad guys, though. These are bad guys.
But they exist, and we could deny they exist. They exist. Not only they exist, they persist, and they're actually influencing young kids every single day.
How do we push some of those guys back under a rock?
Who are you kidding, Tim? You couldn't push a thumbtack into a stick of butter. But this is a smart move on Gavin. He's now bringing on his Democrat competition to show you how bad they really are. Sure, maybe you think Gavin's a slick phony, but then when you see this clown, you might think, you know, I'll take the sleazebag who...
This section widens the lens. Greg stops playing around and dives straight into the core inconsistency he wants to attack. You can see the transition from warm-up to confrontation. His tone sharpens, the pacing thickens, and suddenly the humor becomes a vehicle rather than the message. It's a strategic shift, making sure the audience feels the tension building underneath the jokes.
Acts like he's selling me a timeshare while asking my wife to send nudes. Sure, Newsom's legacy as governor is tarnished. His state is plagued with rampant homelessness, crime, sky-high taxes, and a mayor who left her hair in Ghana. His inability to govern during a wildfire disaster should disqualify him altogether. But when your competition is that, all bets are off. And Tim, the Republicans aren't the ones polling at 29%, which means when you say, yeah, but they suck, you're talking about most of the country. Yeah. Trying to be a tough guy didn't make you VP, and it isn't going to fix what's wrong with your party, because what's wrong with the party isn't just the loss of masculine virtues, it's what replaced it. Envy, as you were saying on your phone.
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping.
He should be worried about his balls dropping. Fact is, while one man is rescuing astronauts, he's mocking that very same guy. He's rooting for the demise of that man's company. What a weird place to be, to root against good things. What is it about the left's source of joy being destruction? They champion Hamas supporters, condemn the deportation of criminals from America. They defend looters as social justice, elevate felons to sainthood, provide material support to vandals. They destroy womanhood by reducing it to a wig and cheap lipstick easily donned by creepy dudes. Their entire identity is rooted in emasculated envy. So yeah, we get it, Tim. You're baffled anyone would focus on your masculinity. But that's what happens when your party pulled a bait and switch. They told us you were the answer to our masculine prayers, when really you're the problem.
At this point, Greg's commentary turns almost forensic. He identifies the players, the motives, and the contradictions with a level of confidence that signals he's not just reacting, he's dissecting. This part is all about drawing a clear line between the public performance and the underlying reality, forcing viewers to reevaluate what they've been told.
Yes! He still shops in the children's husky section. Comedian Joe Mackey. She knows speeches like Joe Biden knows beaches. Former Deputy National Security Advisor and CPAC board member Kit McFarland. When she talks, the sign language lady gives up. Co-host of Outnumbered, Emily Campagno. And he can crush a beer keg on his forehead. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, former NWA. Joe, we brought you on this show because this was a topic right up your alley as the epitome of masculinity. Don't you love how they framed him as the 21st century man, and then he wonders why people made fun of him?
Yes, Greg, he really shot himself in the foot there, and it wasn't even to get out of a war.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's more. To me, the interesting thing about Tim Walz's definition of masculinity, Greg, is that he's using the left's definition of toxic masculinity. It's not about who you could beat up. It's about being accountable for yourself. It's about being responsible for your family. And sure, there's a little bit about, like, having rippling biceps like mine or making love to beautiful women. But the interesting thing to me is if he really thought he was tough and Gavin Newsom was generally MAGA, he should have challenged him to a fight. And just to make things fair, they would each get a full-length body pillow.
Now the momentum is fully established. Greg uses this segment to expose the deeper hypocrisy he's targeting, highlighting how policies or narratives shift depending on convenience. From an observer's standpoint, it's where his argument crystallizes. The tone becomes steadier and more deliberate, pushing the audience toward the conclusion he's been building toward.
Hold on, Joe. It's a My Pillow. There you go. Now there you go.
KT, it just seems to me it's not the problem of masculinity or femininity, it's authenticity. It just does. They feel like no real guy actually goes, I need to be more masculine. You don't think that way.
Certainly guys in the military don't say that.
Yeah.
No, the thing that so ripped me was not only was Governor Walz, well, we don't need to talk about him, but Gavin Newsom was just, here's this guy who like 3 weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, was like a really woke Dem, but he's a survivor, adapt or die.
Yeah.
And so what he's done is he used to go on CNN and he used to go on all the legacy media, but nobody's watching them. He's not going on that anymore. He's going to have his own podcast. Who's he going to have on his podcast? Well, maybe with one exception, which is the governor of Minnesota. He has all the right-wing MAGA guys. So
Yes.
Steve Bannon, he has Charlie Kirk, not just Republicans, but MAGA Republicans. And then he had the gall to say to the Democrat vice presidential candidate, my friend Steve Bannon really gets it. And so you think, whoa, this guy is so slick. He's going to be a Republican before too long. And then to just top it all off. So what happens? All the tech titans, all the Silicon Valley guys, well, they like Trump now. They all paid $1 million to go to the inauguration. So you see Zuckerberg, you see Bezos, they're all there. All the tech guys love Trump right now. So what does Gavin Newsom do? He's not going to take this line down. He's giving all the tech titans free cell phones with his direct dial number so he can actually have conversations with them. So this guy is so slick. I mean, he's slicker than the hair gel, right? He is going to turn himself around, and you are going to just love him as a newborn Republican.
Yeah, you know what? If he were a liberal, he would have sent them pagers.
Oh, no.
Here, Greg amplifies the contradictions even further, zooming out just enough to show how repeated patterns form a larger picture. His commentary feels like a snapshot of a long-running cycle, one he wants viewers to recognize instantly. He blends sarcasm and criticism in a way that underscores how often these issues repeat without resolution.
Not pagers. We've seen with the Israelis, pagers actually blow up in your pants pocket.
Yes. Emily, you know what killed me was that he's the governor of Minnesota. Minnesota's pension funds have a pile of Tesla stock. So he's like, he wanted to score virtue signaling points with that audience and screw over the voters.
Yes. The state of Minnesota has 1.6 million shares in that pension fund. And if you calculate the loss just over the last 2 months, it's over $216 million. So he's laughing it up, he's crowing it up. But to me, what that shows, too, is his absolute incompetence as governor. Because what governor doesn't know what the state pension fund holds? And by the way, they also have another 211,000 shares in non-retirement fund. Like they're balls deep in Tesla. So for him to come out and crow about the failure.
That's a financial term.
That's right.
Financial term, balls deep.
That's right.
I never cost me money.
It just shows how dense he is. And he goes on, he leans in on that when he talks about putting the masculine men back under a rock, everyone that has supported Trump. So remember that that's 48% of Hispanic men. Is he telling them to go back under a rock? It's 25% of African-American men. And it's over 70 plus of white men. The broad swaths of the American population that voted for Trump and are Trump supporters, and he continues doubling down on that narrative. You're racist, you're misogynistic. I thought about how you've said in the past, Tyrus, the women face that Dylan Mulvaney put on, how putting on a dress does not make you a woman. And I feel like for him, putting on that camo hat, did not make you a man. That's the whole point. People identify, sharks smell blood in the water. They knew you were a beta to begin with. So you coming out and trying to, mainstream media trying to epitomize him as the new masculine. You're not, you never were, and now you are just an incompetent.
This section feels like the turning point where Greg shifts from calling things out to challenging them directly. The tone is firmer, the pacing quicker, and the message unmistakable. As an external observer, you can see he's intentionally raising the intensity to leave no room for misinterpretation. It's the part where the gloves officially come off.
Has been failed vice presidential candidate and former governor in 18 months.
Iris. They're just dudes being dudes, hanging out, talking about dude stuff. And what did they talk about? Being a dude? You know, it's like, that's what dudes do. We talk about masculinity and misogyny. We always do, because we're dudes. It was like the most non-dude conversation ever.
No, I thought it was a first date of two guys who lived in the closet. And they're both like trying to hint to the other one, like, I'm gay if you're gay, but I'm not sure that you're gay yet. And then, of course, Newsom was giving him the signs like, I can be gay with you, but you have to go first, you know. And Tim Walz was misreading the sign because he thought that meant it was beat up sex. And then that's why he was letting him know he wasn't afraid to fight. Tim Walz did this, and I tweeted him immediately because I knew it was going to be a long line to get in that fight.
Yeah.
So I told him immediately that I'm his Huckleberry. Let's just say win. Wherever, yes or no, let's put it up for charity. You bring all your masculine talents, and I'll bring one of these, just one. If I can't do it in one, I'll leave and I'll move to Minnesota and I'll start dressing like Foghorn Leghorn too. The only thing I won't do is be gay with you. That's the only thing. Because he literally was outing himself because Newsom didn't make any mention of sexuality.
Right.
Nobody really did. We teased him for being goofy.
Yeah.
He's the one who says, well, they're saying I'm not a man and then I'm gay and sexuality and I'm not gay. And we're like, bro, no one said you were gay. And he was like, he's like, but I could be gay.
And it would be all right.
If you needed me to be. So, and then Newsom was like, yes, just not out loud.
Yeah.
Save it for later.
So we're going to uncover that. Up next, the surprising person funding anti-Musk protests.
Now Greg moves into full breakdown mode, connecting the dots between previous points and pushing toward a bigger conclusion. His focus sharpens as he frames the issue not just as a mistake but as a predictable outcome. It's a classic escalation, building tension through clarity, not volume, and positioning the audience to arrive exactly where he wants them.